No, not yet. Now he's...
It's kind well, I waited
Well, thank you. I
till you gave me the high sign.
I appreciate it.
Okay, we are live.
In a matter of speaking.
Yeah, we're not dead.
That's true. Okay, folks, hello. Welcome to your weekly selectmen's meeting. All sorts of things going on this week, most of which you've been hearing about for the last 3 months to 6 years. Now, usually we start with the town clerk report. However, the town clerk is
Software.
Busy. She'll be over.
she's next door, town clerking. Well, our town clerky has appeared. Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle.
Yep.
You're up, young lady, if you're...
I am? Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, that's all
Just
right.
got off the phone with Trio. It's been much today.
Good luck.
So, not much to report. Again, we're still working with Trio. We are actually, there's a typo there. We are at 10 properties in pending foreclosure. And we have one discharge, so that was good. So, automatic foreclosure again will take place March 7th. In talking with Trio today, they showed us an underlying training. Basically, it's remote training that we can have access to as early as tomorrow. We don't have to, we were looking at the calendar, and the training that we need for budgetary, AP, and check reconciliation isn't available until April-May timeframe. And I explained the frustration, and he says, oh, well, you can just purchase the remote training and do it tomorrow. Okay. So it's $50 per class. I did provide it's recorded training sessions. That's what it looks like. And I would like to sign up for the AP processing and corrections, and also the check reconciliation and reporting class. And basically, it's $50 per video. We have access to it for 90 days, and I'd like to get started tomorrow.
Absolutely. Debbie, can you take that AP class at some point? I mean,
Yes.
it's available
Oh, yeah.
for 90 days.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
and I can also take it at home, she said, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean, I
Okay.
would say anything related to the new software
Makes
in
sense.
terms of training. Yeah.
What, Danielle, you said budget process, that's one of them. What was the other one?
On the back there, Ed, there's a list of all of them. That was just the front page.
Oh, okay.
So it would be budget process and corrections,
Yeah.
and check reconciliation and reporting. I did take a payroll class this morning. That was 2 hours. I believe that was $65. And I have access to that as well,
Good.
recording. So
Good. So it wouldn't hurt if Renee could take that as well.
Yes.
Or could go through the recording. Yeah, great.
So is that okay to go ahead and sign up for that, if that's all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Couple questions. Someone messaged me over Facebook and asked me the status of the Boston Post cane.
So
Yeah, we haven't pursued it much.
she just passed.
Yes.
Ellen passed.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say just.
Yeah, a month or so.
Right. I previously thought Honey Maryland was next in line. We'd looked into it before,
Right.
but I was up to Highland Farms, and Russell's mother just moved up there from Parsonsfield, and they said she was 100. So I don't know how we want to do that. She was a Parsonsfield resident, but she moved in with her son because she's 100, and so now she's a. But now she's
Now she's not a
now
parson.
she's not, but I don't know how long she's lived here. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that goes. I know my grandfather is 100, moved here, and we didn't give it to him last time or something. I don't know. Anyways, maybe he wasn't old enough. I guess he wasn't old enough last time.
So how long has she lived in Parsonsfield?
Well, I don't know. I just know I was there the other night and they said she was 100 and that Annie Maryland's not 100. So this lady just moved from Parsonsfield just because she can't live alone anymore. So that's a question.
Right. I don't think we have any policy, and of course, back in the day of the original Boston Post cane, nobody moved.
Right.
So
Right.
this wasn't an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't bring it up to me as in we should be giving her the cane. They just spoke and said, she's just moved in with so-and-so, she's 100. And I go, well, where did she live? And they said Parsonsfield. And I go, well, so I go, well. So.
I mean, if the person's been, what's the majority, but a better part of their life here, it would seem.
Right.
I mean, if they move to the veterans home or to a
Right.
nursing home,
Right. We still
you
did.
do it.
Right.
Yeah.
We did that with, so let me find out about that
I
tonight.
mean, if she's, right, okay.
Let me ask, and I'll ask if she's
Yeah.
I'll find out about
Yeah,
it tonight.
Okay.
if you would.
Better. I didn't ask any questions. I just kind of rang a bell with me, rang a
Yeah.
bell.
Yeah.
So I'll find out tonight.
Is
Okay.
there a report that you can run to see exactly who the oldest resident is?
No, we have to, we ask you to look at
Vitals?
motor vehicles or, vitals is not going to help you much because they don't have old birth
Yeah.
certificates.
Motor vehicles aren't help either, really, right?
Oh, I'm thinking of voter.
Yeah, voter,
Registry.
see, the problem is you can't
Right.
sort by that. So we would need the names and provide you with names to check.
Okay, because when they were doing the tax stabilization, there was a bunch of chat going on the clerk's site saying that you could run the birth date of voters
Oh,
to see who was 65 and
Okay,
older
yeah.
and use that for a mailing.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Of course, that doesn't guarantee you got everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People
But-
didn't
Yeah.
sign up for it.
It lets you check if somebody is, if they happen to be registered. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Did the person that emailed you have somebody that they thought was the?
I don't know. I didn't ask,
Okay.
but I can.
Well, yeah, because somebody may know somebody that we don't. You know what I'm saying?
I
We're
can
just.
message her about it.
I think they have to be at least 98 or 99.
Yeah.
To be. I think Annie Maryland must be 98 by now. I'm not.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think I looked. Yeah.
Okay.
She was second in line. We thought before when
Yeah.
Ellen got it,
Right.
and then
So you'll check and see how long.
I'll check and ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, for what it's worth, we might want to think about a policy
Right.
and how
Yeah.
we award this.
Yeah.
So, don't need to think about it right now, but,
Can't think about it now.
well, you can, Ed. I don't want to muck things up, though.
Half their life in Parsonsfield. Whatever.
Audit report. Is that something I'm supposed to check in?
No.
So where are we at then with the audit report?
Where are we
I
at?
have the 2020, just received it, and I have to answer some questions. And I'm holding on to it because I need to look through it and then give the selectmen the answers, and they'll get the audit then.
So we
Hopefully I'll have it
are,
ready
I
by
should be
next
able
we
to-
are
Tuesday.
3 years behind?
Yeah,
Not 3, 2, right?
2020,
Yeah.
2020
2021.
is what period? 19 through
19,
June of 20?
19 to 20.
Yeah, so we're 3 years behind.
yeah.
This is crazy.
But a lot of that was caused by the real estate. You remember, we did a lot of work on that.
Yeah?
And they're still dealing with it, so, it's, well, for
We do have
example,
to- we do
Dave,
have
all
to
the
get
accounts
separate.
that you wrote off
Yeah?
when you left the position, I can't balance it with QuickBooks balances.
Yeah?
So it's just, something got lost going from here to there.
Personal
or-
property, yeah,
so
not
they've
real
been
estate.
trying to resolve that. They should be done because everything's
Yeah.
basically zero now.
Yeah.
We're in really good position as far as that goes, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So is the 2020 audit report going to do you any good?
I just wanted to look at something
Oh, okay.
new, and
Okay.
I didn't know if that was something that I was supposed to check
No,
in
no.
with, or, okay, that was all.
You will be asked some questions.
Yep.
You know, ending amounts, things like that.
Right.
They can get a lot of it from Trio, but anyways, yeah.
Okay, because I just wanted, because I'm going to be working with the auditors for the next round, I imagine,
Right.
so I was just
Yeah.
kind of curious
Right.
what it looked like
Yeah.
and what they were kind
Gotcha.
of looking for.
Yeah, they haven't been coming into the office at all, Danielle. It's all emailing back and forth.
And just general, we've got a pretty good chunk, 13,000 and change from last week. Like I said, one lien discharge, so they're slowly coming in. So 92.7% of 2022 have been collected.
Do you know of the 10 properties that are still on the foreclosure list? Did you get mail acknowledgments from all of them?
Not all of them.
Have you been in touch in any way with?
I was gonna actually talk to you on what you've done in the past.
Okay.
And,
Okay. Yeah, because that's critical.
Yep.
'Cause you
I
have-
didn't know if it was appropriate to send a regular mail letter.
Oh, absolutely. But you can't use that as,
Right.
yeah,
But just like a notification, and a few of them I do know personally that I could actually contact directly.
right, right.
So-
Yep. Okay, yeah, we can
Yep.
talk about that.
Okay.
I'll be in sometime tomorrow.
Yep, we got a running list, so we're kind of keeping tabs on that. So.
Okay, yep. Super. Okay.
All right, thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
Reviewing today's agenda and approving last week's. And paying some bills, which will take a minute.
Thanks. Huh. Oh, that's right. March 6th is not good. Never mind. Thought that was a conflict. Okay. Well, that's close enough.
You got the Porter Office Machine Corporation. We have a bill for that $13
Just for the copies that was made.
for, this is the new machine?
Yes.
We
Okay,
pay per copy. That's our
Right.
maintenance.
okay.
That's the only thing.
We're also approving the planning board reimbursing people for their applications that have been approved, and the money that's left over from their applications gets returned to the applicant. We're also improving the insurance on the fire department's building. This is something that Porter and Parsonsfield share equally in. The original agreement for Porter and Parsonsfield for the fire department, 3rd day of June, 1989. So, and Kenny's probably been there the whole time. So review bills paid. They'll be paid this week and approved ones to be paid next week. The no ads for shopping guide. CEO's report is due week after next, I guess. The same with the sheriff's report. They're due the first week in March. Animal control, the same situation, even though they come in bi-monthly. Planning board had a letter from Andy Yale resigning from the planning board. I think we all want to thank Andy for his really years of service to the town in various functions, and hope he's doing well.
Does it say in that letter, I don't have mine right here, does it say that they want to move Roger up?
Yes.
Okay, I just need to do his sheet. Let me get that down for you.
They want to appoint Roger Moreau to complete Andy's term, as well as advertising to fill Roger's alternate position.
And we need to find out about Gerard.
Yeah,
His name
I
is
know
still-
for a fact that we had something in place so that if you missed 3 meetings, or maybe it was 4 meetings, you're off.
Yeah, yep.
Appeals board, nothing. Comprehensive committee. Next meeting is February 28th, which is next week. No news on our solar CMP survey.
Correct.
Robinson Mills PSA purchase and sales agreement. We feel that's ready to be signed. I think the Mouses are due in at 4:30, and hopefully we can get this agreement signed. There was some concern about the amount of rent if they stayed in the buildings and the insurance coverage, and I think those have been covered. Nothing on the Stanley Building as far as we're concerned, because we're no longer involved in that legal action. The mouse is, it says he discussed the purchase and sales at 4:30. Meeting to attend the Cornish Town office regarding charter communications was March 6th, but it's not a good date for charter, so we're waiting on a new date. The fire insurance on the building for the fire department, we've addressed that. Nothing new from the road commissioner. Deb, did we hear anything from the state on our money for reimbursement for the last storm?
No, I'm having a conference with them tomorrow.
Okay. We did got a contract back finally from Access AV concerning the putting microphones and cameras in the selectman's office, the planning board office, and the gymnasium. That quote came back at about, and with a few dollars difference, $15,000, which was the amount approved by the town in our special meeting a few months ago. I think it's appropriate we probably take a vote on whether to accept this proposal and proceed with it. As you know, we had great difficulty trying to get a quote out of the first person that submitted a quote.
Trying to get work out of them. We got a quote from them. We didn't get any work out of them.
No work. So this Access AV, after we, thank you, changed a few of the requirements last week, came in at $16,351.33. However, they had two commercial grade TVs, and which is about $1,700, which we feel comfortably that regular TVs could handle a situation. So we're looking at, 2 to 4 hours a week, nothing commercial, no commercial use applications. So that will bring that down to about $15,000.
Can we get a number on that? 16.
Anyone comments, concerns? Do it, don't do it?
Yeah, I would certainly support it with those reductions, but I want to get an actual amount.
Well, we can't get an actual amount until we find out what type of residential TV they use.
But for this contract,
Or we could just buy the TVs ourselves and
yeah,
take the whole amount of money out of the contract.
no, we can't approve a contract that has monies that we know we're not gonna spend.
Well, no, I'm saying we take out $728
Yeah,
and $1,009,
yeah,
subtract that from the number,
yeah,
tell them that we're subtracting that money, and that's the contract. And the
Right.
town will go out and buy 2
I agree.
TVs.
Okay, I agree. All I'm saying is we need the amount, which I'm coming up with here.
Uh-oh. Yes.
Give me a minute. Now it is 14,617.33. And then we will be purchasing on top of that the 2 televisions. They'll just be
Yeah,
residential.
14 what?
14, 6, 17, 33.
61733?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I got those numbers right. So I would make a motion that we approve this contract by striking the 2 commercial grade TVs for a total of 14, 6, 17, 33.
I'll second that.
All right.
Guess you don't need me then.
We concur. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still there, but Deb, if you want to maybe tomorrow call them and tell them what we did, and it's approved. And we'll go from there. All right. Jesse, you got anything?
I don't.
Dave?
You afraid to ask?
No.
Okay. I have 3 things. I'll try and make it short. We got an email from Ron Sylvia. Select boards from the 4 towns in rescue are going to meet on March 6th at 6:30 at the Porter Town Hall. They're hoping that the full board can go from each town.
March 6th at 6:30.
Correct, at Porter Town office. If not, we need at least 1 representative. I would plan on going. I will plan on going.
I'll go.
Okay. All right. Second thing is I may have implied that the generator was going to get in, the completion was going to happen last Friday, which is what the minutes reflect. That was my hope. But anyway, I still have not heard from PowerPoint, so don't know when that's going to happen. And Debbie mentioned the printer this morning, her printer, and I think I would like to, with your approval, investigate getting a printer similar to what they have next door. Probably just a black and white
Do we need that
for Debbie.
extensive machine?
Well, the number of copies that she's running, because people don't seem to like email, yeah. And it would give her the full scanning capabilities, and it would, well, I don't know what it's going to cost, but I would like to at least investigate it.
Because we were fortunate to get a good used one that we could.
Right. Yep. And they had that printer in a black and white version for $2,000, $19.99. And I assume the
Same pricing on the,
I assume, I don't know that. But, so if you're okay, I'll check with them. That's all I'm doing is checking.
okay,
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Okay. And that's it. Those are my 3.
All right. Can you come back to me?
Absolutely.
The lady that we were speaking of, I'll get her name and whatnot, but she had lived there for at least 40 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And she just moved up the hill.
Do you know where she lived?
I just asked that
Yeah,
question in her
okay.
full name, so we can look it up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, good. Thanks.
So that would be my suggestion as we give it to her.
I think someone that we can talk about a time frame, but
Right.
someone who's spent a substantial amount of time here
Right,
and is moving for
right,
health reasons, really.
right. Yeah, I mean,
Would seem logical
we've
to-
taken it I took it to the West Paris Veterans Home.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay that we take
Yeah,
it
and
to.
Gloria and I took it down to Edith Smith.
Yep,
and rest
right,
home in
right.
Stratford.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Gentlemen,
How are you? How you doing, fellas?
Great.
oh,
How are
we're just
you?
doing great. How are you doing?
You bring your signing pens with you?
Hanging in there. Our gold tip ones, all that, no.
I don't care what it is on for a
We'll
tip.
lend you our 19-cent ballpoints.
If that works, that'll work.
That
Let's do
works.
it that way.
So, can I address this?
Can I ask,
No.
was number 75, was that done? Did someone write it on the bottom?
Number what?
75.
7?
You have the
No, wait. I don't have a 7-5.
7/5.
Oh, you're talking about on the agenda.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we
You need
approved
to
that.
write the copies in the pink folder, and one of the selectmen needs to write. We want the fire department to have full coverage, and each one of you should like to have you sign.
Okay.
I thought with that, our initialing was saying that.
Well, all right.
We can write a little note to Kenny or whatever, or Chalmers or whatever, saying.
Yes, yeah, insurance company.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm sorry, did you give me the okay to talk about this?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Hey, it's a good talk today. So, the agreement that Laura sent last week, we made 3 corrections to. There was a tense on a verb. It should have said agrees to buy instead of agree to buy.
We'll get on her about it.
Yeah. She's gonna hear about it.
We
Subtract something from the bill.
Yeah.
We corrected the fact that it is not federal street, it is federal road. And then there was one other correction where it said, and shall pay an outstanding amount, or it should have said, and shall pay any outstanding amounts.
What part was that on?
That's 6, the second to last line.
Buyers shall pay the cost of
No, I'm sorry, the sentence prior to that.
seller clothing. Buyer shall provide to seller and shall pay any outstanding amounts.
Yeah, we changed that to
Any
any.
amounts owed for seller's insurance. Okay,
Yeah, I just changed it from and to any.
okay.
Okay? Then we change, okay, now this is a change. We changed the rent from 500 to 2,500.
I saw that.
Okay?
Glad you noticed it.
Well, your brother said put it whatever we want.
Yeah, because you're not going to
you're not gonna be
You're gonna
He
be
says a
done.
lot of stuff without my permission.
We
and
know
without my
this. We
presence.
know. We know.
And then I'm not sure where we stand on the insurance, but I have 2 versions of this. One that strikes the line that says we'll cooperate on insurance coverages. The other one leaves it in there. I would prefer to strike it, but I don't have a problem leaving it in. We did get the understanding from Scott at the meeting last week that you guys were okay without it, without the coverage.
You know, just like I was able to listen in on the meeting from Arizona. And,
Oh, good.
So sometimes I can't hear it, but this
Yeah.
time I could.
Okay.
The one, you know, what we thought when that went in there about the property damage was it would be just like you're talking about for the fire department.
Right.
Let's just up the amount. So, because right now we got $2 million of liability.
Liability.
Let's add $2 million of property damage, and
Yeah.
we've got it covered on that basis.
Right.
It became complicated.
Yes.
It's not as easy as the fire department
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
So we're like going, well, we don't even know what your policy looks like because it's different than our liability, whether it has any additional, because it does cost more. So I don't know what the comparison is, whether that would be enough for, like, let's just think in terms of catastrophic, it burned down. Then you gotta
At least
the demolition. Is there any in there of that? So,
No.
okay, so that part I didn't know, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we just,
mean-
it's simpler if we just go, if you guys were okay with the liability up for all this time.
Oh, yeah, we can't take the liability off as long as we
No,
own it.
no, I'm, you were fine
I'm
with
sorry.
liability, but not property damage on it.
We were told it would be prohibitively expensive a couple of years ago.
And we're been told that too, just because it's not occupied and they call it, you know.
I'm sure the word derelict came into play somewhere along the
word
line.
junk buildings came in too. And we're going, well, of course, we understand the condition of the buildings, but
Right.
from an insurance point of view, I didn't realize it would be quite as
Yeah.
difficult as it is. And
Yeah.
for us not to have standing to have ownership of it, and you guys do, it gets convoluted. So
Yeah, yeah.
Scott seemed to think he was okay with leaving the insurance. And what I heard from the meeting was as is, was that
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
right.
have the
Yeah.
town's liability policy and we have ours. And hopefully we shorten that gap to where we hold it for so we can hurry up and close and then we can pick up our property insurance at that time.
Yep,
I think I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
all right,
Leave it as it is now. You
Yeah.
have your insurance, we have
Right.
our insurance.
right, exactly.
Mark, do you mind if I contact Bill and let him know that there won't be any future meetings, or?
There won't be any changes made at the moment.
Here's what it is. Another part of this was, in speaking to them, they're saying, well, then once we do meet, we're going to send it out for quotes and it might take 3 or 4 weeks.
Right,
And I'm going, okay, when is this going to stop? We're trying to get this.
yeah,
I
agreed.
say- So I would say not hold off. We can contact them after we sign, and then when we want to do our property damage insurance,
Okay,
we can get that going so that it's teed up and ready for when we
Okay.
can close.
Right.
okay, because I
Okay,
had
is that
called
okay?
him. 'cause
Oh,
Mark-
yeah,
Yeah.
We've
yeah.
been-
I had called him too, I mean, and then I guess you went to Gorham and I went to Parsonsfield, so,
Yeah. I just didn't want Ed to show up when no one was there waiting.
No, I got your email yesterday, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, make sure you're in the loop on that.
I said, oh darn.
We've been cold walking around those old buildings.
Well,
No air conditioning. There's no heating in them.
There's also an option, Scott could live in the administrative building.
No,
And
he
it would be
can't. No,
occupied?
he cannot. Pardon
He's
me.
our watchman. That's as
Yeah.
much as we let him
Oh,
do.
nice.
He's our watchman and our
Okay.
camera
Yeah.
guy. So, but we want to hopefully get to that one here as soon as we close. So,
Yeah.
so that's where so now to just so we're clear, as of up to this point, you guys were paying your liability policy,
Yeah.
and we're paying our policy.
Yeah,
Is that where we're going to leave it at?
yeah, nothing's gonna change.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
yep.
You okay with that?
How many times you gotta ask me that?
Like I said, I wasn't here last week. I was like, okay, I'm here. That's the other thing. I was like, well, I better talk to Phil about this because it seems like things changed during last meeting. So
I don't
anyway.
think Phil's getting it complicated. Right there.
Okay,
So
so are we ready to sign this?
now,
Oh, no.
now I know the big one in the room, the $2,500 on the rent.
Yeah?
It just seems like if in the event, we're hoping that doesn't come into play.
I know it is awful
We're-
cheap. Probably we should up it a
Yeah,
little bit.
We're hoping not
Really?
to pay even a cent of it because we're going to close before that happens.
Yeah?
Right.
Well, that's good.
But the kicker on that is it wouldn't be us being the party that would hold it up. It would be back to that if they can't get that phase 1 done and if
Phase
and-
one's addressed in here.
Well, here's but it's the phase 1's not such a big deal. It's if they determine they have to do the phase 2.
I'm sorry, but we're not gonna hold it up for phase 2.
But you have,
My point on that, I don't know how that works is if you guys have coverage as a seller under a bona fide protected party if we do it after the closing. That's the part I don't know.
but it doesn't say that you have 30 days to make a decision after phase 1, whether you want to pursue it or not.
It doesn't say that in this one.
Yeah.
Would it not, to get the liability transfer
No, this is more,
qualified for the town? They're just looking after, Laura, she's experienced with these mill deals. And so they got their finger on the stipulations for transferring liabilities from the town to the new owner. And so she's mentioned to us a few times that it's something that is definite for the town, for their protection, to see that through. So
under 7
other than that,
inspections. Buyer may withdraw from this agreement by delivering notice to seller within 10 days, etc.
Where were you going, Scott?
oh, that was it.
Yeah, okay.
So it's something we have to complete by law. And the town does too. They have to transfer their liability, environmental liabilities, through the DEP upon a transaction like this, where it's under a VRAP and environmental conditions, there's statutes and timelines that transfer the liability from the current owner to the next owner. And
Well, it weighs it, if you do it within that certain window, the town has protection for anything coming back on that, and then we do going forward. So it's a good thing to have in place. It has to be renewed because the one expired.
what's the latest?
That's all it comes down.
I'm sorry, but what's the latest from Ransom on this phase 1?
We already have a proposal in hand with them, but they said they already put it over to Southern Maine Regional to see if they would do it under the brownfield. So he was going to check back with them. I tried calling him yesterday, couldn't get through yesterday because of the holiday. He's checking with them today to see where they are in the decision on that.
So this is to pay for the study?
Yes. Because it's one of those where we didn't know originally at this end that we had to pay for it again. We thought it was already done, but they said no, it's expired. We got to renew it. So we've taken that on, but if they can get them to take it on, then that's a bonus.
Do you know how much that first phase cost? $5,500? I was quoted by
Yeah,
Joanna.
I think that's what it was.
Is her name Joanna? Okay.
So that's the only thing there is for us signing that. And I talked to Ed about that. I said, well, if we sign it right this moment, we're committed to it. But if you give them a little bit of time. But even that, I talked to Phil, his name is Eric, who's going to be the project manager on it. He said even if you get it within the next week or so, they can start and get the phase 1 completed in a month.
Has a phase 2 ever been completed on there?
Yes, it was. But we're talking about the renewals at this point.
Yeah, I know that.
So once the phase 1, they can get that done. He was approximating his calendar, he could get it done in March. And then at that point, if they determine that phase 2 is needed, they need a little bit more time to do that one. We're hoping we can get it done before closing on those. But like the previous ones have done, there was a gap of about 8 months between the two. So he said he will do everything he can to squeeze it in, and he committed over the phone that he thought it would be very close. So that's where we're at on that.
So,
We're taking on a lot of expenses, monthly expenses, especially this first year of this transition. And it all has to do with that downtown Keyser Falls area.
Scott, can you speak up a bit?
Yeah. Our expenditures with insurance, closings, essentials as soon as we close, and all of our monthly expenditures, we're not bringing anything in on the people can't get renter's insurance. I mean, it's not dry storage. You won't even qualify for dry storage. Those buildings won't. Everything's up on, has to be up on pallets, and everything has to be covered. The not a large amount, but what we do have stored there has to be protected. It's a swamp in there in the summertime, so it's like dry storage is one thing, and that's something that's recognized in the insurance industry and the rental space, commercial space industry. But it's something that we're going to have a lot of expenditures to bring these roofs up to the point where we can even call it dry storage. It's not just those expenditures on the mill itself. It's good things we have planned for that whole area that we hate to have go from septic systems and other things all at once, and then have to pay $2,500 if we're 4 months out from having legal, all the T's crossed and I's on with the DEP. And there's a mechanism or a bureaucracy there that we have no direct control over. We can't get out of them any said dates. They can't give them ransom. And
Yes, but you
so
can scan it over
it's
to
just
me, email it to me.
and I'll get them to do it.
Well, as far as that goes, the
Thank you, you're
one
sweetheart.
building that does, I would say, has a dry
Thank you,
roof
hon.
is that little barn, and the church has their stuff in there, and I hate to be the one to break it to them that they have to
Oh, I will.
carry through price of the $2,500 a month.
No, but they've agreed.
I don't want to be the one that tells them that.
We're gonna help them with that. And, Harvey, he's got a great idea for just some choice pieces, whether they're hospital beds, there's some nice ones there, nice wheelchairs, some decent electric chairs. I don't think you need those, but there's some handicap things that would be kind of nice if you had the space for them. So anyway, we're gonna clear that out in the spring. Church knows about that.
So, I guess I'm hearing too many things. What is it that you're looking for?
Like I told Ed that, okay, the buildings really aren't, I think it would be hard to rent those at that rate. So, and like I said, we're hoping, we're gonna do everything we can so we don't even have to cross that line and go into that, get the reports done. And even if you get past report 1, and then there's, they have to send it to Southern Maine if they are part of the brownfields funding of this. They have to have about a month's worth of their time, and then they could do the phase 2. So we're hoping that all lines up, we're good to go. But as far as the rent amount on that, if it blows past that, to me, it seems like it's a penalty on us if we have to pay it because of no fault of our own, because we're waiting for those reports to make
All
it
right,
happen.
so-
And as far as rent goes right now, like if our brother has his business going in there, we were going to give him incentive rent at $700 a month until such time as we got his 3-phase power. That was for a year. That was back in 2018 when he thought, and we thought there was only a 2-month window for a temporary mill lease agreement, and then we could get up and running. But as of right now, we're in a holding pattern, he's in a holding pattern, so we have our time justifying it. So bottom line is, can we meet you halfway on this $2,500 and sign this thing and get it done?
Yep. It's okay by me?
It's okay by me.
We wanted to hear what you
Doesn't
think.
matter
say
what I gotta
anything,
say, I guess. No, keep it to myself.
Well, it's fine.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So what do you mean halfway? That sounds good to me too. I mean, it's just,
What's half of $2,500? $1,250.
15.
Well, halfway between 500 and 2,500 is 1,500.
Half of your $2,500
Okay, all
number.
right, 1,250.
And the reason I came up with this, like I said, we have an incentive lease at $700 that was going to go in, but we haven't been able to enact that because he can't get renter's insurance, and we can't keep the roofs dry until we put some big capital into it. So that's plus the $500 we were talking. That's where we came in at $1,200. I came up
You're
with
getting
$1,250.
some of the nicest waterfront property in York County, and you can't pay $15,000 for it.
Here's
We'll just add it into this, make it a sale price, $15,000, and that'll cover what, 6 months of rent?
maybe one of these days, but right now because of this, we're having to do a more than triple down
All
for a
right.
global agreement
All right.
on the overall
Yeah,
picture of things. So hold me tight.
I should have agreed on this last week when Scott was here.
$1,250.
Now, am I making it
I
hard
got
on you? Is that
it.
what you're
Cash
trying
out
to tell
the
me?
10. Or you can do it?
I've got it, yes.
Okay.
Are we done yet?
1251.
You are making it hard, aren't you?
I want it to be on our
Haven't
side.
we been punished enough on this?
You.
Who's going to collect the money monthly?
It ain't gonna
not
happen.
gonna happen
We're gonna close
because they're
before it
gonna
comes
be
into
done.
play.
I would think they would.
Leave it high. Give them more incentive to close.
they're already getting you.
We got all the incentive we need.
I printed it next door, I'll go grab it.
You need one in here.
You could get a
Right.
new printer in here.
We'd like to, we can't collect any rent on our building, so we can't
Well.
afford them.
Now, it's another thing. Well, I was want Dave to get in here and try to get you guys to
Do you realize how many?
sweeten up.
Do you realize how many trees you guys saved? I've got 2 folders worth of.
You should see mine. You should try carrying them on the airplane, Ed.
I
From
was
Arizona.
thinking. I'm talking
Not counting our
to
files.
David about, it says lease agreement. I was going to put number 26 up there, but
Oh, yeah?
David said put final.
Oh,
And then Laura made me say that if you do that, you got to vote on it, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to
Yeah,
vote on it.
absolutely.
She wants us to vote.
I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble with her.
All right, so I would make a motion that we sign this purchase and sale agreement, which I have just printed out that had the changes we talked about earlier, plus the rent at $1,250 per month. Let's see, it's not spelled out, is it? It just says $1,250. Yep. Okay,
Okay, I second.
all right.
I third it too.
I vote yes.
I'm in agreement.
All right. You can sign first.
Oh, God, I don't believe it.
What is this?
Did Ms. Hart say anything about initialing each page?
Want me to call it?
Why don't we do that?
No,
Yes.
Doesn't matter how many
It's-
pages
We've
are
got
there.
so many versions
yeah,
floating around.
just initial it. You don't need to call her.
Yeah,
Just look at how hard is it to do 5 initials. Just
Thank you.
initial it.
So we'll initial each page?
Yeah.
Do we have to sign it too?
She won't know what the initial.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't have stapled it, but I didn't want it to get mixed up. Excuse me.
Our attorney,
Get rid of these other ones.
4
All
years
that.
ago, we were looking over the first agreement, said, oh, no one initialed these. So,
So we don't want to get in trouble? We want to call it a done deal?
No, when we sign the deed over, it's a done deal.
All right.
But this is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that.
Now, let's get on to some, the next steps here.
not until this is signed. That's
No,
the
don't
next step.
concentrate.
Yeah,
Let 'em
let's sign
concentrate.
this.
Plus, it's not on the agenda.
That's right. Only talk about what's on the agenda.
Ornamental street lights.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Have to pay for those.
Thank you.
Hard to believe. Don't believe it's done.
Geez, Ed, you didn't leave
I've
anything
turned
wrong.
gray over this.
I can see.
Yeah.
I can definitely see. That was already good.
Oh,
At least you got it.
Are you,
good.
are
there's
you,
more maintenance free though, Jesse.
I don't know.
are you home
Just
from
because I have a
Arizona
receding
now, Mark?
hairline does
What's
not
that?
mean
Are you
doesn't
home from
mean
Arizona?
I'm
Are you-
bald.
I'll be here for a while. About 2 months at least.
They were hoping you'd sign and leave.
Yeah, I'll bet they were.
So you'll be here for a couple months, and
Yeah.
is this going to continue for a long time?
For a
or-
while, my dad just passed away, so we're.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so before your dad did.
Oh, really?
Just before.
Just before.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear
Here you
that.
go, Jesse.
So I'm helping mom out more than we were, you know.
My sister was here.
I took her to the airport. It's like one of those things you take for advantage, you know, for granted. Dad, take everyone to the airport and pick them up.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm it today, so.
Pulmonary embolism. And
How old was he?
92 and a half.
Wow.
He did pretty good. He did a good run.
I bowled with him just 2 days before he passed. And
Wow.
he fell in the dining room. Lucky he hit the carpet, but his hip was hurting, and so they felt that he should go in for observation. Ambulance came. I was dropping you off at the airport, and then dropped you off, and then I had to hurry home. Missed him on the ambulance. Took him down. My other brother stand when we were helped load him up.
You have to lend them a pen, Jesse.
He's got one.
So,
Can I use black ink?
yes, absolutely.
Should have got said the mill on it or something.
Yeah.
More money to spend, right?
Harvey, did you ever come up with any kind of drawn-out plan for the sidewalks? Nothing?
Well, I think.
They just want more money.
We get together with SMPDC to see what they can come up with, but that was a 2-year process. Dick probably knows more about it than you.
I wasn't.
I mean,
What about it?
Well, we wanted to know if there was any plan coming up for that.
No, it's been worked on twice in the past 10 years, but nothing's been finalized or anything, so. think I'd kind of wait and see what you guys do down there. There's no sense putting in brand new sidewalks and things, and especially where they did by the bakery, so they did that part, so.
If the state starts putting in curbs, you may not want them.
Right, we hate to get too going on the plan, and then, so, I mean, we'd want to coordinate with the state anyway.
Scott, do you think initial estate is still
So we'd like to see Mill Street widened, and
concentrate?
You didn't bold your left hand.
yeah,
You did? No wonder you weren't any good.
upside down, backwards. I tried with the left one.
Hey, sorry, just keep
And I
talking.
Don't,
Yeah.
he'll mess up.
Don't interrupt.
He'll sign in the witness line if you don't let him concentrate.
Realistically, so it probably should be Mark, not Scott. Sorry, Scott. You've
gets
got
it.
the ideas, you've got the ideas.
He gets it.
I'm a dreamer.
As this will spur around the town, our residents, I'm sure will be very happy, overjoyed.
We want him to be.
When could they expect to see something like, my God, they're putting windows in or something? Roughly.
Well,
Or
first,
something tangible.
well, okay, just to give you an idea of, like I said, that's why we were pressing on some mitigation stuff we got to do over there.
Yeah.
There's the low part on the front of the mill, that roof has caved in. The problem with that, it's letting water in and then it travels underneath, so it floods that lower level. We want to protect the columns on that lower level from getting water damage. So that's one we got to mitigate. The one on the backside too, and even if we got to sandbag it and do a lot of this kind of stuff, even if we wanted to use it for storage for a little while that far, the big mill is hard to use on the lower level because you can't get into it. There's no big doors to get in. So there's stuff like that. But as far as we have talked to 2 or 3 potential tenants who want to get in there.
Okay.
And if that's the case, we would like to take, say, that west side of that mill, if we have them on that main level, to get one whole portion of that where the windows are dialed in and the paint, and then we'll start working our way east. So you can see what it looked like starting that way. So I know we want to see some visuals, but there's like railings that drop to that lower plaza area. There's some safety things we need to take care of. So
It's
there's
gonna be a little while before they can see it.
yeah, but
but-
it would be like if we could get a good run on it now, and then by the time the spring and summer happens, if we could get some good visuals. I know that's what everyone wants to see. That's what you're getting at.
The power plant.
When's the paint gonna happen?
We have to coordinate with power plant.
I signed it
And
here.
There's a
I
retaining
mean,
wall.
we certainly have appreciated the star for the last few years, but
the star and the lights.
Yeah.
So we want to keep adding on to that and get that going and get some like that little building up front. If we have to do something with medical equipment, you said that we need to start clearing that one out. So
I've already notified him.
He's already notified him. At least this way we don't have to tell them that they have to pay $2,500 a month for that little storage. You know, I didn't want to be the one to break that to the church people. You know? But if we dial that little building, it could be good for seasonal stuff or whatever we decide to do. There's been a couple people talking to us about putting a little restaurant in there, but there again, that's a little bit longer term because the septic is an issue. So we have our permits with the Saco River to use the tanks if we need to for a temporary basis. If we do a holding, if we do a schedule or a monitoring device and all that stuff. So we got to see where that's going to go. But and then of course, one of the big things we push, and then as soon as we can close, we could start accessing some financing, which has been hard to do up until we have actual ownership of it.
I would think a little restaurant, but especially a breakfast restaurant on this end of town is all right.
Restaurant,
Yeah.
we've been taught people to say a Mexican restaurant. would be
Oh, yeah,
big.
I'm not much of a
Local
Mexican
guy,
stuff, but yeah.
he's
So I
Mr.
actually
Head
said, she just called me
Cafe.
during the meeting, and I said, yes, please send it over. So
The Filipino girls, they want to team up, and they would like to have we call it the chalet,
That little bar.
little bar next to the hydro plant.
Yeah.
So they can't. I talked to one of the gals last night, and So they want to come down in a couple of months, April. That's hopefully when we'll get with David to get the medical stuff straightened out, and maybe a new place for them in a bar or somewhere. We'll get a little area. Because they do pull from crutches, electric chairs, so it's been a great service. So we've always wanted to help them with that. But that's for the takeout places.
It's got good frontage for like a little takeout or a little restaurant or.
But our other guy, he's honest about every week. He's honest about getting something going for the bagel factory.
Yeah.
We got one guy that we talked to about he would want to put in a whiskey distillery because of the old. He's looking. An old building has good historic value. You know how they do.
Yeah.
They put on their labels and they make the picture, and it's all about the marketing.
Correct. Yeah.
We're like, okay, well, no. So now he's been waiting for us to finalize our deal, and then we can get back to him and say, okay, it's real.
What does he do? Is he in the oil business?
He's one guy. He was up in the Naples area. His family is, but he was in oil and gas. But he's been doing distillery.
Have you guys, you know Doug, remember Doug Hawkins, right? Selectman?
The selectman, yeah.
Yeah. He went to Connecticut for a visit, hydroponics,
Hydroponics?
and came back with samples of lettuce and all good stuff. Is that a viable thing for maybe the mill? Because there's no people, no
And the
nothing.
septic, lack of septic. It doesn't need a lot of septic.
Doesn't need any septic.
And I already got a guy I talked to last week. I'm doing a project for him out in Arizona, but he wants to do it. What he wants to do is buy these. They're like shipping containers,
Okay.
except they're foldable. They're on flat. You can ship in a flatbed truck, and then they pop together. Because that's be one way of getting them into the mill, because there's not a lot of access. But if they're folded, you should be able to get them in those doors. Put them together, do hydroponics. They don't need a lot of septic. And
All you need is electricity, water.
we got it. There's occasionally, if you have to clear them and purge them, there's
Yeah.
some residue, and you got to contain it. That's the thing. But the
That's
lighting and
great, but
everything.
my dream been a small grocery store. The community.
Yeah, we do. It is a shame that they don't just open someone doesn't open the other one up.
It
It's
is.
perfect. It's
It's a
parking.
prime
It's
space.
everything.
It was a great little store.
Yeah,
We
well,
left
right,
since we were
no,
little
it
kids.
was, and-
Since little kids.
And you can't
Go
make
in
me
there.
think it won't make a go of it because it's way busier around town than it used to be. You know what
But
I
if you
mean?
get some momentum at the mill, that would help.
Right.
That's why we went and
Prefer to have that store opened up.
we
Right.
went down and met with Doug Sanford on those mills down the coast, and his thing, it was like, early on to get some momentum, you got to give cheap rent.
Yeah.
You almost got to give them space to get it going. If there's people, we talk to people that want to have a little business place in there.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
Right off the bat, we need to cover our costs and
Yeah.
get it
People
going.
see stuff going on.
And they see it, and there's parking, and next thing you know, there's a lot of lively action. We'd love to have a little place where you have food and beverage down on that
Right.
plaza.
Not that there's a great need for apartments, but a lot of people work from home.
a
You know what I
few
mean?
apartments,
But people
that's
wouldn't
right.
mind going there and, did I say apartments? I meant like a small business space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not apartment, office, like small office space.
Small
It wouldn't
office.
take much. It
That's
wouldn't
right.
take much septic, and it would maybe get people out of their house that are working from home or
Yeah,
something.
it doesn't take much. It takes less septic for commercial. So
Yeah.
that's why we've been looking at doing that little venues or
Right.
stuff. And
Public
then,
knowledge, so
We still in the meeting?
we're still in a meeting.
Scanned it.
so there's a lot of stuff like that could happen. It's
These
going to
guys
just happen,
yeah.
whatever, who has it.
We haven't forgotten you.
Just trying to let you know the copy.
Whoever pops up and says, hey, I want some space.
We talked to a guy that he used to
that's a
work at
good
the
thing,
mill.
so you
He
know
does
what's
those cornhole games. His
Oh, I
garage
get
is
you, I
full
get
of
you.
them.
Yeah.
He's like, he needs more
All right, all
space.
right.
Yeah.
Fine, coming down,
It's
find
like
space. But we have to, but you can't get too far ahead of yourself because we have to be a sprinkler, fire suppression.
I'll give you the original.
Okay.
All that. There's a couple hydrants down there. One of them is proper size. The fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Fire company can
Any
come down and use
latest developments on the Stanley Building at all?
it.
Yeah.
Is it, are we still in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on, so
Yeah.
I'd hold off on that, Ed.
We don't have anything.
Public knowledge that
Yeah.
another attorney took over.
Right. Okay.
So we're waiting to hear from the judge on the motion.
I already called. There's nothing new.
Nothing new?
Yeah.
Nothing new.
one
All
more
right.
sign.
One more thing. I got the lady's name. Her name was Shirley Day, and I know exactly where she lived. She lived on Maple Crest Road, and I plowed her driveway a few times.
Okay.
Harvey, you had something you wanted to
Yeah.
patiently say?
I wanted to ask David, as far as the controls for the kitchen area, I know we have a, current warrant that states we have 13,000. Have we spent any of that money yet for the kitchen?
No.
No?
I don't believe
So
so.
the control system is not,
What control system?
I don't know, something that you recommended to have done.
Oh, for the heating system?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that was building maintenance.
So
Yeah,
that's
no,
all-
that had nothing to
that's
do,
all done.
well, the kitchen's part of it, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right. So the 13,000 is still fine?
We don't, right. It's available whether we spend it or not tonight.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Well, we want to add to it, so.
We're not opening a carriage house north here.
Yeah, we got a thing for tablecloths and stuff. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just want to make sure that it's still.
Okay. All right. That's it, folks. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sam, did you sign that other paper?
Purchase and sales agreement, my God. Well, at least you learned something today, folks, and something happened. so-
Jesse?
Yep.
And that's for the extra insurance
Okay.
at the fire station. Okay, we're all set?
Yep.
All right, clocking out.